So I am so excited to talk about something that came up for me in two really important communications that I've had with some really great friends, all about zone of genius. So I'm going to get my space set up, and we've got a little bit of music going. I'm going to light my session candle. We're going to do a little bit of Palo Santo to cleanse our space. All right. Hello, Avery. Welcome. All right. So when I light my Palo Santo or sage, I just release all that does not serve me. I allow myself to cleanse my container so that I can stay extremely focused and present on what it is that we're talking about. And today it's all about zone of genius. So as I get started, I really want to talk to you guys a little bit about how I came up with this topic, because I know that live streams and video content is a super important part of so many of our businesses. And sometimes it's difficult to pick what it is that you want to talk about. Sometimes you're stuck, you have, live stream writer's block. Other times there's so many different topics that you want to talk about. How do you prioritize? I also find that I have so many topics in the moment, and then when it comes time to get live, I get kind of stuck. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about how this topic came to be so that you can start to craft that formulation for yourself so that you can find live stream topics throughout your regular days, just going about your normal business, and find things that you really are lit up on the inside to talk about. Because when we show up in that vibration of super potent, really excited from this authentic place, that is what's going to magnetize your potential clients to you. You become this beacon, this lighthouse that is just putting out your energy into the world, magnetizing those aligned, right clients who are your soulmate clients. And they find you, they get to hear you, they get to kind of steep themselves in your energy, and then they get to transition to clients because of that superior content. So I realized that I wanted to talk about zone of genius in two specific moments. And when it happened twice, I knew that I needed to speak to it. The first experience was one of my best friends, shout out to Heidi Kohler, is turning 30 this Wednesday. So we have been in the deep throes of celebrating her birthday. And one of the many things that we've done together to celebrate her birthday is do a card pull for each of the coming 12 months in her birthday cycle. So we did from her current birthday now to her next birthday. So I pulled out several of my different card decks. I shuffled them with the intention of her. I said her name, and I asked the question of really focusing in on a main topic for each month across several different decks. And then I had her pull a card. I had her tell me which deck she wanted to pull it from. I fanned them out for her, and I had her pull a card for each 30 to 31 day cycle. So we did from her birthday on January 29th to a similar spot in February to March to April, and so forth. And then I went through each of the cards with her, and I asked her to interpret them just based off of the visual of the card. So I would show her the imagery and ask her what it was that she was getting from the card. Then I would read her the message in the booklet, and I would really show her item for item, line for line, where the correlations were between her interpretation and the exact description in the book. It was really helping her to understand how her intuitive muscle works. And I really wanted to show her, how amazing she is at pulling these intuitive messages for her own growth and for her own life and month and intention from just the imagery in the card, and really showing her the difference between the beginning of her working with cards, the beginning of her really honing her intuitive muscle. And I really wanted to show her that back and forth, that one-to-one, because sometimes when we're utilizing our intuition, it's harder for us to experience for ourselves, for us to put our own fingers on it. And that really is my zone of genius. That is where the magic happens for me. When I am not only offering support, offering guidance, coaching and consulting, but that I am helping my clients to connect their intuition, the experience of their intuition, with the real world, showing them how they're utilizing their intuition in daily life. So for her and I, we went back and forth, and I was connecting specific things that she said for her interpretation of the cards to exactly what the booklet is describing for herself. And that was extremely profound for her to be able to experience that one-to-one back and forth between what it was that she was getting intuitively from the card and what is in the booklet, showing her that she is able to intuitively pull these messages just from the image of the cards, that she's almost bypassing the need for the booklets, for the diagnosis, for the direction, because she is allowing that internal guidance, that internal compass to speak to her through the cards. So that really allowed me to enact my zone of genius in a way that I haven't used specifically before. And so it was extremely profound for me to experience my zone of genius and kind of see it through someone else's eyes. I want to say hi to Courtney and hi to Vera and hi to Rachel. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the live stream. We are talking all about zone of genius today. So after that experience happened, I ended up going to dinner with a close friend, colleague, and peer of mine who inspires me all the time and is someone who I look up to. And we ended up talking about zone of genius because of this experience that I had with my best friend. I was telling her all about that experience, and then I succinctly was able to express to her that that truly is my zone of genius, my ability to take a look at something that is happening in a coaching container, on a coaching call, in an in-person session, during an energy healing, during a meditative download, or during card readings, and to take what it is that an individual is feeling, sensing, their way of their intuition downloading for them, and to reiterate it back to them, help them to process that, and really help them to connect the dots between their intuition and what it is that is happening in the container that we're experiencing it in. My ability to show others how it is their own intuition that is speaking to them, helping them follow those energetic threads, ask the right questions, get really aware and comfortable with the way that their own intuitive muscle works, speaks to them, whispers to them, gives them gut feelings, might be providing them with pictures or the way that their intuitive muscle explains things to them, is really the main zone of genius thread that I carry throughout all of my services. Because my coaching specifically is not just about giving you a piece of guidance or telling you a ceremony or showing you a practice, providing you spiritual tools, but it is about supporting you as you uncover the way that your intuition speaks or acts or communicates with you. After I'm done with my coaching programs, I really want my clients to take not only the specifics of what they learned, the practices, the principles, the tools, the actionable steps, but I really want them to leave that coaching container with a deep understanding, a very full and rich and robust awareness of how their intuitive muscle works best. So that after we're done coaching together, you guys all get to take these really meaty, juicy, beautiful pieces of awareness and enact those every day, every week, every month, every year beyond the coaching program, so that you are flexing your own intuitive muscle and utilizing that in your daily life. Not just in the drills or practices or kind of what I call the work on the sidelines, but really in the game, in daily life, when something triggers you, when something comes up for you, when you are at the precipice of a mountain that you desire to climb, instead of looking up and going, oh my God, that's so much. Oh my God, that's so heavy. How am I ever going to get to that other side? That you are able to exercise your intuitive muscle, pull out the correct tools that will serve you in that specific moment to scale that specific mountain, and that you feel that you have learned a process for working with your own intuition in my coaching programs, beyond just the intuitive messages that I've been giving you. So that is a really beautiful insight into how I have succinctly put language to my zone of genius. And so that's really what inspired my live stream today. I want to talk to you guys about finding your own zone of genius and what that can mean for your life and for your business. So zone of genius I find to be twofold. Very similar to what I just expressed to you, zone of genius is what your magic specifically is. So really learning how to put language and experience and visualization to what your magical gifts that you're here to give to the world is. Working in that is working in your zone of genius. So finding what it is that truly lights you on fire, gets you excited, gets you wanting to talk and wanting to just spill over and over and over about. What are the things that you always want to chime in about? What are the topics that get you really excited? If you had 5 hours of uninterrupted free time, what would you desire to be doing with that? And now I don't just mean relaxing with a bowl of popcorn watching Netflix, because that is so much fun for so many of us. But what is the topic that when it comes up at a cocktail party, or when a friend says that they're really struggling around a certain area, that you really get excited to support and offer your insight? What are things that you have studied, that you have read books on, listened to podcasts to, taken notes on, or journaled about? What are the things that come to you in meditation? What is that thread of beauty that when you get to speak to that in your business, in your client calls, when you're offering these pieces of information, that you really feel your best, most aligned self? The magic that just flows through you, that you don't have to conjure or create. That is your zone of genius. So I would love to hear from you guys about what your zone of genius is. Maybe you're in the process of crafting that and you'd like some support. I would love for you to drop that in the comments of, this is my zone of genius, and type that out. Or these are certain things that I'm in love with. I would love to find my zone of genius. Or where you are in the process of finding your zone of genius. Once you start to identify that, and it's a constant process, you're going to be reworking that, reevaluating that, updating that, making it more succinct, moving it forward as your life and your business starts to shift and pivot. But where Zone of Genius can really support you is marketing. So one of the main things about owning your own business, or becoming a consultant, or being a service-based entrepreneur, is that giving others a deep understanding of what it is that you do is one of the most important things that you can offer, especially on social media, on your website, on your blog, in your YouTube videos, on your live streams, in every piece of content. Because that's how clients transition from potential clients to paying clients. They have to understand what it is that you do. And more often than not, it's going to be vibrational. It's going to be energetic. It's not just, I'm a marketing guru that will help you do this, this, and this, but is your specific blend, how you speak, the experiences that you've been through. So each and everyone's zone of genius is a little bit different, even if your topic might be the same. For instance, if you're a health and wellness coach, if you're doing social media marketing, and if you're a VA, you might feel like the market is extremely saturated, that there are a bunch of other people doing what it is that you do. Your zone of genius will take you beyond that, will really help and support you to market yourself in a really unique way, because your zone of genius is different from everyone else's, even if you're in the same field, even if you're in the same niche, because each of us speaks a different way. Each of us has a unique compilation of experiences that really inform how it is that we do what we do, who we are when we show up doing what it is that we do. So once you start to put in the work to identify your zone of genius, get excited about what it is that you have to offer the world, allowing that thread to be the common piece in your branding, in your messaging, in your content, in how you're showing up, in the visuals, in the colors, and the quotes that you put up. This is really going to allow clients to connect to you on a very deep, very authentic, and intrinsic level. You start to communicate what it is that you can offer that no one else can offer to your potential clients. And it's when we allow people to connect with us in that way, and that special, specific, deeply authentic way, that we start to magnetize clients to us, that we become this lighthouse that just beams our light out into the darkness and attracts and magnetizes and calls in those soulmate clients. And isn't that the goal of having our own businesses, of doing what it is that we love, that we get to support others in traversing the landscape of areas that we've grown through, of areas that we've done tons of education, tons of work, tons of research, things that we've taken time and energy to hone our crafts and adapt what it is that we're offering this world and how we can support others. Our magic is packaged up for them in a more unique way when you get very clear about your zone of genius. So I would love to support you guys in really taking some steps forward in figuring out what your zone of genius is, or fine-tuning some marketing, some branding for yourself that really speaks to your zone of genius. So if you are watching live with me right now, I would love for you to pop some of that information into the comments. And if you are watching the replay, please hashtag replay and drop your zone of genius in there. Drop some topics that you really love to speak to, and I would love to support you in taking steps to get closer and closer to your zone of genius. If there's a marketing post that you want to post in the comments here and have me give you some feedback on what zone of genius speaks to me through your marketing, so that you can start to clarify and realign your vibration when you're posting about your brand, posting about your business, offering your great work to the world. I would love to support you in that. Also, if you guys have any questions about zone of genius, about that thread, that piece of yourself that you want to put into your branding, put into your messaging, I would love to answer those. Zone of genius is an area that is so powerful for each and every one of us who has a gift that is here to offer it to the world. And I am very excited and super grateful to my friends, to my peers, to my colleagues who have helped me hone my zone of genius. Women who have been in my life who help me put language to what it is that I do. Being a spiritual wellness, intuitive business, and mindset coach covers a myriad of different topics when I'm working in my coaching containers. What it is that I do is sometimes beyond language, and working with women from different walks of life, women who have different businesses, women in the corporate world, other entrepreneurs, other women who are just dipping their toes into spirituality, and then others who are as deep as I am into the woo-woo, and some who are far beyond me. Hearing what it is that I have done for them and hearing the specific language that they've put to it, allowing myself to go deep into meditation with those topics, with those zones, with those areas of focus, has really allowed me to pull back the onion layers of my zone of genius, get more and more succinct about what it is that I do, how I offer that, and kind of the specific flavor that is my magical zone of genius. That has been a huge jumping off point for me in my business. And I would love to support you guys in developing your zone of genius. So we have a comment here. Let's talk about Rachel, who is in nutrition, patient advocacy, and navigating the healthcare system. So I have been blessed to actually do some one-on-one work with Rachel. So I would love to help you craft your zone of genius and support and clarify. So Rachel, one of the things that really struck me about your zone of genius when we got to sit together and work on that was how much research and personal development you've done specifically about things that have affected you. And so that tips you into this area that you then deep dive in. And it goes so far beyond just what it is that you've personally dealt with. It goes into different facets that other people could be. Your unique empathy for how health things really affect your entire life, I've found to be this beautiful thread for your zone of genius. So it's not only nutrition as in what's in food and what we should be eating, but how other people can look at what it is that they're eating, look at when they're eating, when they're not eating, when they're making these choices, and coming at it from an inside out perspective, that this is one piece of a large personal wellness puzzle. Same thing for patient advocacy and navigating the healthcare system. It started from a beautiful place of firsthand experience and has really gone into how can wellness change? How can personal practice change when you start to encompass all of these things? And how can your life truly shift when you learn how to advocate for yourself as the patient, when you're navigating the healthcare system? Standing in your authentic truth, asking for what it is that you deserve, advocating for yourself, asking those right questions. These are all beautiful pieces of the business that you're launching that is so unique to you. So I look forward to hearing even more from you about your zone of genius. If you are interested in working with me in a one-on-one coaching container, if you want to dive into Zone of Genius, limiting beliefs, reprogramming your subconscious, work on manifesting, develop your business, articulate yourself and market yourself in a new, more aligned way so that you start to gain soulmate clients from a place of flow instead of a place of hustle. If you are ready to flex your intuitive muscle like never before and integrate that into your life and business, I would love to talk to you about working together in a one-on-one container. I'm currently taking one more client for February, and I have client openings for March and April. So if you are interested, shoot me a direct message, or I will also leave a link to schedule a discovery call on this live video. I would love to chat with you. My discovery calls are 30 minutes of one-on-one time with me. It's a great place to ask questions, identify all the areas and pillars that you would like to up level in. I will tell you all about how my programs work, what different containers I have, the pricing, the time frame, and how best we can work together to get you where you want to go with ease, with grace, and in flow instead of in push, in force, and hustle. I want to teach you how to magnetize all of the things that you desire in life. Clients, money, love, friendships, relationships, all of the different things that you would like to achieve in life. I would like to support you in using your intuition, reprogramming your subconscious, shifting your mindset so that you can up level and achieve everything that you desire in a state of flow. If you guys have any more questions, any more topics that you'd like to discuss about Zone of Genius or anything else that would support your spirituality, your wellness, your intuitive muscle, drop a comment here. I'm always looking for my next live stream topic to support you guys.